Hi dear friends, in this lesson let's write quickly and briefly an answer to one of Duolingo's essay questions. These essays are actually called interviews. By default and by habit I call them essays because they are essays. They are mini essays because we write in 5 minutes, but anyway they are essays, so why should we call them like that? I've taken a real question from Duolingo. I have opened it right now, just a couple of minutes, while I was organizing some technical things about this record. I mean that I didn't prepare. I hate doing that. I will show you and give you a couple of guidelines. We will write something. I know that the majority of you have difficulties with writing. Usually, not always, but usually this sub-score of writing is the lowest with the vast majority of candidates. And for some unknown reason, or probably known, the majority of you don't want to meddle with this, to bother with this habit and with this skill unless 1 or 2 days before the test. Or when you actually take the test, then you lose some points due to this, and then you begin doing something when it's already late. So let's avoid this. It can be done by us. By the way, before we proceed, let me remind you that I'm a highly experienced tutor for Duolingo IELTS TOEFL preparation. Nowadays, as I see it, Duolingo is the king of online testing, of course, and not only online. It seems to me that it occupies maybe 70% of the market, or 80%, because it's very convenient, it's fast, and universities begin to look at this test and accept it. So if you need urgent assistance in your Duolingo preparation, please drop me a line at my email. I always place it just on the screen, somewhere in the bottom of the screen. My WhatsApp, Viber, Telegram, Instagram, whichever you like. You will describe your situation in brief, and sometimes we raise your score dramatically just in 2-3 weeks. It happens. Yes, of course it costs money. So on my website onlinetutor.top you can read the price. You can ask me for some discount. Also you can read some testimonials. Okay guys, and now we will write this essay. I will give you some guidelines. Of course we will not provide such a thorough analysis as we do in our online sessions, because it's just unfair to those guys who give me money for this. However, those of you who are eager to hear, they will hear something beneficial, I promise you. Okay, so let's read the question. Imagine that this is the last task, the last or the pre-last writing interview, my friend. Oh my god, I don't remember writing. Oh, no, it's the pre-last, because the last one is speaking interview. Anyway, I mean, you are tired already. You want all of this to finish, but still you have to write for 5 minutes. Let's read. Do you believe someone can lie without speaking? Please explain why you think so. The question in itself is very simple, yeah, though it does not mean that you can simply write about it, because this is a question that you firstly really must think and then write. Because sometimes they ask such questions that you know from your school, even from kindergarten, like describe your ideal house or something like that. You can easily expect such a question, and so it means that you can easily write at least something. Here, this question can be unexpected, because you haven't thought in your life about this cheating, misleading without words. You should memorize, you should recall some philosophical ideas and psychological about body language and everything. Yeah? It can puzzle you, of course it can. On the other hand, remember please that you don't have to be so sophisticated and produce complex sentences. It's Duolingo. You can produce more or less simple sentences and get a high score. Now, another very important aspect is that I love structuring my essays, and by structuring I mean giving at least 2 or 3 paragraphs. However, a lot of guys, they get high score even producing only 1 big paragraph. It's okay. So their writing resembles speaking. For Duolingo, I tell you again, it's okay, because you have 5 minutes, you are very nervous, and you have more lively language, so it's okay. However, if you can, think about producing 2 or 3 paragraphs, because it shows that you can structure your thought. It's very powerful. you are like easier to understand. You know, all those public speakers and so on and so on. If a person produces a long answer, speaking about this, then about that, then reverting to something said 5 minutes ago, it's very twisted and intertwined, and for a listener or reader it's very difficult to untangle all those threads. But if you structure, you have an intro, then the body, then the conclusion. Let's say some kind of conclusion. You don't have to have that classic conclusion, that in the conclusion I would say, if you wish, yes. But anyway, it's very nice that you wind up and show the reader, like reproduce your main ideas again in your conclusion. If you have time, if you don't, let it be. It's okay without any conclusions. Okay, so let's write together. I write and comment, and you think about how you would be writing this. Of course, we have different mental processes and personalities, and you don't have to imitate or let's say emulate my style. However, I'm sure some ideas you will like. Again, let me repeat myself, I'm a strong proponent to let's say simple writing, but simple does not mean primitive. You see, my friends, simple means simple to understand. It does not mean that here or there I don't want to insert a good word or a good collocation. I'm a non-native speaker, so for me it's not so easy to write than for a native speaker. So what? Anyway, we'll produce. Okay, let's imagine this thing pops up. I have 20 seconds to think, yes? I'm thinking, firstly, we have a direct question, you see? Direct. It requires the answer yes or no. If you don't give your answer yes or no, you will be punished for that. I mean, you don't necessarily say, yes, I do. However, you must be understood and the reader must understand. Do you believe or you don't believe? So think about that. You must be radical, like marginal, as a child. You know, this is, I love it or I hate it. I highly recommend that you stick to this approach. Don't be diplomatic. On the one hand, blah, 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 but on the other hand, blah, and the reader reads you and he or she cannot understand till the end of the essay whether you really believe or not. You will be punished for that, I tell you, because you have a direct question. Yeah, my friend, that's very important. So, do you believe someone can lie without speaking? Like, of course I do, yes. Let me take this, like, positive position towards this question. Yes, I do. I believe that someone can lie without speaking. It means what? Without words. So how they can lie? They can lie with their actions and body language. So I have already an idea what to write about. In my introduction, I will write about, in general, that they can, and usually they do it with their body language, and of course ultimately with their actions. So probably my second paragraph will be devoted to body language, and the third paragraph will be, if I have some time, devoted to their actions. And probably if I have some time for one sentence of a fourth paragraph, I will write a conclusion. But I tell you, not necessarily. Duolingo is not IELTS. If you don't have time to reproduce your ideas, again, let it be. It's okay. So they ask us a direct question. Let me answer this question, but not yes, of course, but okay, just a second please, it's Ukrainian. Sorry. I totally concur, for example, with the premise that a person, you see, I try please to substitute with all your might. Try not to reproduce any word from the prompt, always at any test. If there is like no other way, for example, a student, yes, or university, they're very difficult to substitute. Let it be. You just repeat student. But if you have someone, person, you see, like idea, premise, or position, or stance, something like that, always paraphrasing is the king of your language. The beauty of your language is disclosed in your paraphrasing skills. If you just reproduce like a parrot, you will get 0 for this. Because, as they say, we cannot assess your language from your copied words. So it's very powerful. Again, think about it. I totally concur with the premise that a person can easily trick us into what... and here are the what he or she, or you can write they. You know that it's impolite to write only he or she, so we have to write either he or she or just they. To trick us into what they believe to be beneficial to them. Not to us, you see, to them. By the way, here I will, my friends, click enter and hope to hear, because not all of this text field matches into the screen, because if I do like that, then our letters, our word will be very small. So don't be surprised that I click enter and jump here. It's not a new paragraph. I will tell you when I have a new paragraph. I totally concur with the premise that a person can easily trick us into what they believe to be beneficial to them. Something like that. Lure, trick here is the person can easily trick us into. Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot. Without using, we have here without, but you know, for me to sit and without is difficult, you know. Of course, we can say not using any words. Then okay, let's put a comma here. Avoiding the usage of a single word. Okay. Oh my god, listen. Avoiding the usage. I jump here of a single word. Full stop. Have I answered this question? Yes, I have. I didn't write yes, I do, because it's too childish, yes, but first of all, answer the question. It will yield you additional points. I know what I'm talking about. I have been tutoring people for 25 years. Of course, not all 25 years I've been tutoring them to Duolingo, but I've read a lot on this, I've heard a lot, I've analyzed a lot of your works and correlated them with your bands, and so I have answered. Now, you remember I had an idea that I will write about body language and the results, like the actions, the practical outcome, ramifications, something like that. So I have to make the introduction to my second and third paragraph. So I'm going to do that. Generally, we can discern discern the lies, okay, by noticing, okay, let's say by tracing body language and ultimately the ramifications of our interaction with the, not a, because we are speaking about some exact person, with the person we have already, so let's call individual. Okay, let's, it's not a big deal if you write a person again. Okay, so this is my introduction. Oh, by the way, I forgot to turn on the timer, but you know, I'm commenting for you, so probably I will write a bit longer than 5 minutes, but it's, believe me, I easily produce 120, 30, 40, 50, 60 words within 5 minutes, depending on my mood and my desire to do so. Probably I can produce 200 words. Yeah, I tell you, 200 words in 5 minutes is okay. If I type fast, if I know what to type about, I can produce 180 to 200, but the majority of you will not produce such an amount, and you don't have to. For a normal score, please try to produce more than 100 words. Yeah, 100, 110, 120, 130, something like that. If you have 110 clever words, it's very good, very good. So I have made my introduction. Now I'll speak about body language. I have, you know, for me it's easy to write about that because I have read a lot of material on this, but I cannot squeeze it within these 2 minutes or 1 minute. So I have, and also at the real test we are under stress, so we cannot, we forget 70 or 80% of what we know. I mean, about our vocabulary. So I will have to use some simple vocabulary. Okay, I say quite often I don't write firstly, secondly, because it's not so explain, give reasons why I think so. I give reasons because I will write here that quite often I see that, so this is the reason. So on the one hand, I could write the first reason is, but it's not the reason, it's the detail. I started speaking about body language, so I write quite often. Also, my friend, it's a good idea when you are different from the herd, you know, from the majority. Everybody writes secondly, firstly, yeah, it's okay, but it's so beaten that you know, it's getting on the nerves, yes. But if you write quite often and put a comma, the algorithm is assessing you and think, something fresh. Quite often, I, so here you can use I or you can say we. It's for you to decide. Honestly, I have started here writing we. Okay, let's stick to we. Though it's not a big deal. Often, we are sure that our, here we can say partner, opponent, let's call interlocutor. You know, it's a person who speaks with us. Or quite often we are sure that our interlocutor has produced a lie. I could have said just has lied, but I wanted to, you know, to show the word produced. It's a bit of a higher level. So quite often we are sure that our interlocutor has produced a lie, even though they, you remember, not he or she, even though they swear, oh my God, to be telling the truth. The reason, the primary, okay, let's say the primary, we show the word primary. The primary reason is that, okay, I will put that on the next page, is that their subconsciousness, okay, if you know this word, then write. If you don't, then write their mind or something. Their subconsciousness is sending unrealized, okay, no, unconscious, again, signals. We will not write unconsciousness because it's a tautology. So is that their subconscious is sending covert signals to their limbs of the body, or organs, you know, to their organs, so they can twitch, oh my God, to the twitch or jerk or itch. Okay, thus we detect these micro movements. Okay, I put a hyphen and here we go, movements. Okay, I have described like body language, yes, in brief. Now my third paragraph is dedicated to the result. Yes, even if we are not so attentive to body language, anyway, if we see that the result of our cooperation with this moron is some bad life experience, then of course we can suppose that he or she is lying to us. Yes, so we will write about this. We have already almost 100 words, and honestly, you understand that if I weren't commenting on this, I would have produced it within, I don't know, 3 minutes. It's not a problem, you know, to produce this. By the way, I can even probably make a spelling mistake somewhere because I'm commenting and I'm thinking, and you know, it's not so easy to. Okay, thus we detect these micro movements. Okay, and so what is more important? Yes, but this is a long phrase. On the other hand, like not to write secondly, yeah, or one more important aspect, one more important reason. I want to produce something fresh. Yes, what's even more important? Okay, let's put like this. More important still is the ramifications. We have already the repercussions. Repercussions of our cooperation with a given person. Okay, not with a given person. We repeat person, but it's okay because we have interlocutor, person, individual. So you understand that not to be idiotic. So if I sit for half a minute and think about how can I, like, personality, Homo sapiens, human, it's funny, funny and ludicrous. So if you have to reproduce person, let it be. You will not be punished for this small repetition. More important still is the repercussions of our cooperations with a given person. If they insist on their clean intentions, for example, comma, we need to do while my, okay, we hop to the next, while my life, for example, reality, while my life is getting increasingly worse. This is a strong indicator of, here we have a lot of like logical forks, logical arrows, like to which direction to go, but let's imagine that we don't have a lot of time, so we have to finish it to wind up somehow. Yes, if they insist on their I should have on the cleanliness of their intentions, but let it be on their clean intentions, while my life is getting increasingly worse. This is a strong indicator, and we can write off or we can write that. You see, if you write off, it will be something nominal here, which is more difficult to produce than to use that, and after that you can start a new sentence, a new clause, you understand? So think about it. If we produce of, like of the maliciousness of their, something like that, depending on your condition during this essay. You remember I told you the simplicity does not mean that you shouldn't use some good plump words that you know. If you know them, of course input them. It will raise your score dramatically. So you see, I try to produce subconsciousness, covert, jerk to which, no, repercussions, ramifications, beneficial, you see, something like that, concur. Of course I could have written it like, I fully agree with the idea that a person can, you know, yeah, but if I can't do it, I show you how to do it in a more attractive manner. Still, my friends, even if you produce it in a way like, I fully agree that with the idea that, without any mistakes, without any, you will get like 90 for this, from 90 to 100, which is okay for the majority of you, because the rest of your subscores will be higher and your overall score will be good. The problem is that the majority of you produce a lot of spelling mistakes, grammatical mistakes, even in these simple words. Like if you write not in this style, but primitive style, you see, that is the problem. You have to practice with a good tutor if you have time. While my life is getting better, this is a strong indicator of the let's say maliciousness. Oh my god, maliciousness of their intentions I have. Yeah, so not to reproduce intentions or of their propensities, inclinations. Okay, let's say inclinations. Okay, inclinations. Full stop. Let's imagine that my time is up. Am I easy to understand? If a reader has a normal vocabulary of English, yes, I am. I tell you so. As a teacher, I'm easy to understand. What can I tell you more, my friend? Even if you don't know maliciousness, inclinations, you can always write with simple words. For example, more important still, okay, is the result of our cooperation with this person. If they say or repeat saying about their clean desires, comma, while my life is getting worse, this is a strong indicator. I think indicator is not a, it's a simple word. This is a strong indicator that they wish me bad, or they want to do some harm to me, something like that. If you produce it without mistakes, I repeat, you will have a good score. Okay, my friends, so I have provided you with an example. Some people don't like that I talk a lot. I'm a teacher with a huge experience. I know that if I don't talk a lot, you will remember nothing. You will think that you remember something, but you will, if you find some mistakes in my essay, please put them in the comments, because I tell you again, I can make them, because firstly, I'm a non-native speaker of English, and secondly, I'm immersed in my thoughts now and comments, so I may not see just something. My spelling mistakes will be mechanical for sure, but if you trace some stylistic incongruence, so let me know, it's very interesting. Let me repeat, please, that if you need assistance, serious assistance in your Duolingo preparation, for instance, just a practical situation, you have 110 and you need 120 or 125, I can do that. Of course, I cost some money, because I'm one of the most effective tutors in the world about this. So you please first read the price on my... Oh, no, even not first read. Just you write to me and we will discuss and you will decide whether you can afford me or not. I'm sure that 99% of families, especially from Europe, if they want to study in colleges abroad and they have tens of thousands of dollars and hundreds of thousands of dollars, they can afford a couple of hundreds of dollars for a normal tutor. And believe me, I cannot be, let's say, persuaded otherwise, because I have too large life experience. Okay, my friends, I love you, wish you success, and see you in our next lesson.